Happy Friday, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Gentlemen's Dialogue. It's a cold, rainy Friday afternoon here in the A. Kind of chilly outside, pouring down. I think we're supposed to potentially get some snow maybe, but if we do, it'll be just some flakes, looking like dandruff falling. But yeah, it's all good. But hey, man, we just wanted to jump in today. Riding right here with my homeboy Solo the Don. Solomon, how you feeling today, my brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Trying to stay dry. Like you said, if it snows, I'm not looking forward to that potential black ice, man. But we'll make the best of it. How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm hanging in here, man. Hey, just wanted to we hop on the mic today, man, and just kind of talk a little bit about a subject that was brought up, man, a couple weeks ago. With some other friends, and that really is just to talk about or ask the question, why do we think people stay in relationships when they know that the relationship it has stopped growing or it isn't heading anywhere? I do understand that you got different situations and scenarios that would create for various reasons as to why you would stay in a relationship too long. But just out of just general discussions, I think people, for some reason, become simply complacent. You're with the same person over and over, and whether it's a month, 2 months, 6 months, 6 years, 50 years. Sometimes I think you just get tired of the situation. Sometimes you want to grow and the other person is not trying to grow. And I think that is what causes a huge discomfort in the relationship. Now, I think sometimes we stay in these relationships too long because we don't communicate. I think if the other person understands that, we have some problems, then you can address them. Maybe then that the problems get resolved, and now you have this newfound love for this individual. But under a lot of circumstances, we wind up staying with someone and you wind up despising that individual, and it's so unfortunate. And one day you wake up and realize that this just is not the person for you. I've seen it happen time and time again. I know it firsthand. So, hey, Solo, man, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I think you're right. And also, it's kind of a intricate dance between knowing when to hold and knowing when to fold. Because sometimes, like earlier when we were talking about this subject, and you, I love that analogy how you tied the stock market into it, and you said, it's almost like the relationship is like a couple of stocks, and even though the stocks might start off high, they might slump down for a little bit, and it's like, hey, I'm just going to hold because I know eventually the market's going to curve and I'm going to be back in the green. And sometimes that is true. But in other cases, sometimes, it's the sooner you catch on to the downward trend and you get out and save what you can, the better off you'll be. Because like you said, and also if you... It's more of a art than it is a science. I mean, there's not a definite way to tell when a relationship necessarily starts to go downhill or if it's coming to the end. But once you realize that, hey, I think that we're reaching a point where things really aren't gonna progress with us being together in this situation. You want to cut your losses as quickly as you can and save what you can. And so the biggest thing is you want to, because your time, that's one of the things that is really precious. And once it's gone, you just can't get it back. When it comes to money, you can mess up some money and be like, man, but it'll come back. You can make that back, but your time, once you've invested your time into a situation, that's something that is like once it's gone, it's gone. So situations, it could depend, but and it's interesting because even though a situation might look a certain way on the outside, doesn't always necessarily mean that it could be that. But I think a lot of times, like you said, people get complacent and it's like, oh, well, I'm so used to this person, and they think about it. I'm pretty sure they think about, hey, what would it be like without them? They're getting on my nerves right now, but if they were gone, how would that, would I be happy, or would I, not really, am I tripping? So when they think about it, it's kind of a thing where you kind of have to have a good judge of situations to see. And when sometimes people grow apart, and it's like, hey, like you said earlier with D and K, D might be moving in a certain direction and they want to do different things with their life, and K is just like, hey, I mean, everything's fine the way it is. The routine is cool. We wake up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, and that it might start off that way, but people change over time, and when you change, you want to make sure that you want to do checks, like I call them checks, where you check on the people that you surround yourself with. You check on your goals, you check on where you're at and where you're trying to go, because as time goes on, we grow and we change, and certain things that may work for us today don't necessarily work for us tomorrow. And if a period of time goes by and it's like, hey, I've been in this relationship for 2 or 3 years, and in year 1 everything was great, but once we hit about the 2.5 year mark, things started kind of going sideways, and it hasn't really improved. And when we think about it, we're arguing more than we're getting along, or the good days aren't outweighing the bad days anymore. Then it may be time to think about doing something different.
Do you think people sometimes stay in a relationship beyond the time simply because of fear? Do you think that they're afraid that, hey, I've been with this person, and it's kind of the mindset of dealing with the devil versus the devil that you don't know. Especially you having to go out, start the dating world, go into the dating world all over again. And a lot of people are just simply afraid of that. But at the same time, sometimes, it's okay to be by yourself. It's not a crime. It's not a crime to take some time to yourself, not date, work on you, become a better you.
For real.
And that way, if and when you're in your next relationship, you will find yourself in a better place. Sometimes again, and I keep going back to this word complacency. We get so comfortable. And again, it's kind of, the same scenario of, it's 25 degrees outside. You got to go pee. But man, you are up under that warm blankets. You're so happy. You just say, you know what? Man, I'm happy. I ain't moving out of this. I'm not getting up. I feel good, man. You fall back asleep. And guess what? You pee on yourself. You know why you peed on yourself? Because you were too comfortable and you didn't want to get up out of your bed to go pee. So now you peed on yourself. And the same thing is in relationship. You stay in that thing too long, it's just like peeing on yourself, man. It's not going to be too comfortable. You're not going to like it, man. It's just not going to be a good situation. And so, we told you sometimes, guys, you got to add a little comedy, because sometimes you got to laugh in life.
Oh, yeah.
We can't take life, too serious, all the time. There's a time, to be serious, but, sometimes you just got to, just got to enjoy and kick it and have a good laugh. But But again, we have got to learn how to be happy with ourselves first. And then that other person comes along and then they help you and enjoy in your happiness. Again, they're not the ones that's responsible for making you happy. You're responsible for making yourself happy. And we get in these relationships and, of course, now, you start sharing everything, right? Then it becomes kind of sometimes, and for some, it becomes a financial thing. It's like, oh man, I'll deal with this asshole but you know what? This asshole's paying half the bills, and I don't want to have to pay them all. So I'm just gonna stay in here and ride this thing out. Unfortunately, that's not a good reason to stay with somebody, but that happens so frequently. So hey, man, look, again, just a quick note, man. We just want to do a quick one. I'm gonna let Solo, close this thing out. Hey, stay warm wherever you are. If you're in Atlanta, stay dry, stay warm. Hey, tonight, hey, look, don't hit them streets tonight, man. Just pour your glass of wine, grab your book, watch a Netflix movie or drama, whatever, man. Just Netflix and chill, and just work on you tonight. Read something educational, something that's gonna help you. Hey, if you need to, pick up your Bible, get you some verses in, get your mind right. So, hey, Solo, I'll let you wrap it up, my brother.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, as usual, you said a word, man. Especially if you're in the city of Atlanta or the surrounding area, and usually we decided to go ahead and make it to the studio today and get this episode out and going. But usually when it rains, man, that's the advice I give to myself. It's like, hey, man, it can wait, and unless I run out of like something important like soap or toilet tissue, I'm like, man, forget that. that rain. I'm not running in the rain unless I need to. But yeah, man, people, let us know what you think. Drop a comment down below or shoot us an email and, let us know what you think. Do you think that people get complacent in relationships, or, is it just one of those things where maybe people jump too soon because it's like, hey, just because it looks bad doesn't mean that is coming to an end. It could just be going
really
through
good point. That's
through
a, good point.
A rough patch. So, let us know what you think. Also, as usual, gentlemensdialogue@gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns. And, like Steve said, pour you a drink, get comfortable, snuggle up next to your special someone. It's one of those days where, and it's Friday too, the weekend's about to start. I don't know what type of weekend it's going to be, but, take some time for yourself and just relax and say, you know what, I'm going to turn on this movie or whatever you like to do and turn your brain off and give yourself a little break. Take some me time. Not necessarily to set things up, but just take a break and just enjoy yourself a little bit. Because, like Steve said, you got to enjoy life sometimes and laugh a little bit and just unwind. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the episode, another one of Gentlemen's Dialogue. Thank you so much for your time and keeping up with us as we drop more episodes. So, until next time, peace.
Hey, if you're in a relationship, hey, it's Friday night. It's cold out. It's a little chilly outside. Hey, man, tonight, man, y'all get naked and play hide and go seek. Man, put on some nice music, man. I don't know, like some 80s, 90s funk stuff, man, and just have a ball, man. Run around the house naked, play hide and go seek, and and just enjoy yourself and enjoy life, man, because life is way too short. Again, signing off, Gentlemen's Dialogue. Have a good weekend.
Oh, yeah.